Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're sewing up the Live Out Loud top. This is not only super cute, but it's so easy and quick that it has become one of my favorite patterns. I love, love, love it. And so let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bodice. Now, there's a few different options with this. If you want to do the option with the little ruffle around the neck, then we attach the neckband at the same time as the ruffle. So for this step right now, we're gonna grab our front and our back and we're gonna put them right sides together first. Now, if you are doing the neck ruffle, we will go ahead and just attach the shoulder seam and not attach the sides yet, because we'll add the ruffle and the neckband before we attach it. It makes it easier. But if you're doing no ruffle, then you would go ahead and also sew up the sides, which is the version I'm doing. You can also do the ruffle by sewing up the sides already, but it makes it easier to put the ruffle on first before you sew up the sides. So what you would do, if you're doing the ruffle, you would grab your ruffle, you would gather it, and you would attach it. Once we sew the shoulders, you would open this up and you would attach, let me open it up, and you would attach your ruffle all the way up along the neckline, and then also will not attach ruffle. You would put the ruffle on first and then the neckband on the sandwich, right sides together to the bodice, so that way once the neckband is on, the ruffle is right underneath it. But I'm not doing the ruffle, I'm doing the one without the ruffle, and I'm going to sew those side seams and shoulder seams. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and prep my armband and my neckband by folding it right sides together first. I'm gonna create a memory crease. That way it makes it easier once my armband and neckband are sewn on the round to be able to attach it. So that's my neckband. Obviously it's longer. Here's my armband. I'm gonna steam it. And then I have my little shoulder strap that I'm adding. And that one also gets sewn right sides, well, this one will get sewn right sides together. So we're gonna sew our sides and our shoulder. We're gonna grab our armband and we're gonna fold it right sides together and sew that short raw edge to create a band. And then also for our neckband, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna open it up, right sides together, sew that neckband, short edges. And for our strap, we're gonna fold it wrong sides together and we're gonna sew along the long edge because we're creating like a casing, we're creating a strap because we want a strap. So let me go ahead and sew all those things and then we'll put it together and we'll be done. You know what, since we're sewing everything at the same time, let me show you the skirt too. I am doing the peplum top. So I'm grabbing one half circle and there's thread everywhere, another half circle, and we're putting them right on top. If you're doing the gathered version, after you sew them together on the sides, you will go ahead and I always like to mark my center before I gather. So like mark where my center of my skirt is, and I would go ahead and gather it the width of the top. And if you're doing the banded version, you would just do the same steps basically that we did for our neckband. You would fold it in half, sew you would fold it right sides together, sew the short side, and then we would put it on afterwards. So let's do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my strap and turn it. You can give it a steam to make it like nice and even. All right, now to assemble our top. I'm going to go ahead and grab my neckband and my armband, and I'm going to quarter by grabbing it. I'm just getting rid of all these tails because I'm gonna sew over them and they really annoy me. I'm gonna grab it and fold it wrong sides together to create my neckband. And once I do that, I'm gonna quarter it by going from my half to the front, and I do like a little tiny notch. I just clip a little bit. It's gonna get eaten by my seam allowance, so it'll be good. And we're gonna go ahead and match the front and the back and go to the side. And then do the same for the other side. And I'm gonna do that same thing to my armband as well. Now with my armband, since it's a small amount, I can just do half instead of doing all the quarters. Then I'm gonna grab and also find my half of my skirt. I'm gonna match my front and back and go to the sides. And then I'm gonna match also the half on my neckline and on my arm. And also the bottom of my shirt, where I'm gonna attach my peplum. All right, now we basically have it all prepped. And what we're going to do is we're gonna grab our neckband and we're gonna match up all those quarter points. You can either put the strap in the back, or the seam on the back, or on here on the shoulder or on the armpit. I'm just gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna match up all those raw edges, right sides together, onto those quarter points. And if you're doing the ruffle, you would have already attached the ruffle before we sew the sides right on top of the neckband. All right, so there is that, and we can go ahead and sew that one on, but I'm going to do my strap. So I flip my strap over and it's ready. I am going to find where my strap is supposed to be using my pattern guide right here. And I'm attaching my strap right sides together. So when I go to sew it, my strap will be cut in there, and then the right side, the other on the back as well. So you're attaching it to in between the neckline, not in between, but on top of the neckband. And remember, right sides together. And then we're gonna do the same for the neck, right sides together, the armband. Where's my seam? I want my seam to be seam to seam. I guess you could put it on the top too. So if you wanted to quarter, I did quarter my band, my area, but I didn't quarter my band because you'll just stretch evenly. I think it should be fine. But if you wanted to quarter it just to make sure you do it really even, you can do that. I just kind of stretch it sometimes and make sure it's even, and then pin it somewhere in the middle if I feel like I need an extra one. And then for the last part is our skirt. So what you can do is, if you want to, you can go ahead and sew everything else first and then come back to the skirt. I like to prep everything and then sew it all at the same time. I feel like it goes by so quick and then we're done. If you're doing the gathered version, you're just gonna sew that gathered skirt the same way. You match up those quarter points and sew your gathers on. I like the peplum version because you don't even have to gather. You just go for it, and it is super quick. So now we're gonna go ahead and sew it all up, and look at how cute that's gonna look. I can't wait. All right, let's start with our neckband, and I always like to start where my seam is. I face my neckband up, I put it under my foot, and then I make sure that it's strapped in there. I go to my first quarter point, stretch out so my neckband is all even, and sew. Make sure you catch that strap in, if you're doing straps. Then I go to my next quarter point and pull and even out, and then I continue to do that all the way around. There it is. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for my armband. All right, we are done. Now you can go ahead and give it a good steam. Steaming always, I find that helps so much, and it makes everything look nice and sharp and even and pretty. Now if you want to, you can go back and top stitch your neckline and your strap down and your skirt. And also, I did not hem my skirt. So with knits, Sometimes I'm just like, eh. And then what I do sometimes, I just tuck in my tail or serge over that spot. Or I might go back and do a rolled hem with like a popping color, like that black. So it pops, and then maybe top stitch in black here too, so it pops. But it really is not necessary. It looks super, super cute. And how quick was that? I wanted to show you just how quick you can finish this cute little project, how easy it is, because sometimes we get like, ooh, I can't make that, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You sure can. If I can make it, you can make it. And it turned out super, super cute. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, so you can be entered to win our fun fan giveaway that we do monthly. Come check us out on Facebook and Instagram so you can see what everybody else is making, and you can be inspired to make your own beautiful things, and you can inspire others. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!